Good morning from Disturbia. 9:04 real time, 10:04 PSYOP time, 13th of October. It's another dull, dingy, very dirty day here in Disturbia. Look at all this shite in the sky. The shite is white and the shite is blue and the sky is white and the sun is white and the rays of the sun look white and blue, and it's all a topsy-turvy world, as Natalie Merchant would say. Take a look at this background of the sky. White. The sky is not white. The sky is blue, as you can see here a little bit. And then they've got lines sprayed through to congeal. These lines are shot through, in my opinion, with electricity that make them congeal. And then we see a sea of white. And look at this blue blob in front of the sun. Crazy. They want to change things by adding to their appearance. They changed mankind by adding a mask to his appearance. You only see somebody's eyes. You cannot recognize them always. You need to see the whole face. You need to see the whole picture. But that's what these forces do. They just cover everything up. They cover up the glory of God. They cover up the sky. They cover up the sun. And they say that we're attempting to cool it down. And as they're attempting to cool it down, it gets hotter though. So what's actually happening? The white shite that they spray is actually galvanizing heat. I don't believe it's from the sun. I believe that it's just simply from the electromagnetic conducting electric blanket that is sprayed in, nanoparticulate metal, jolted through with electricity. And it insulates the earth as the gas falls down and suffocates us. Trees are suffocating. Lots of trees down here. You know, people will say, well, this is normal. And there's always death. And weather is cyclical. Weather may be cyclical. But this so-called substitute weather, which is actually a live stream of electricity and gas, is substitute for weather and is erratic. Last week we had, I mentioned this before, 18 degrees at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. real time. The day before, the temperature was something like 15. That means that the temperature went up overnight, even when the sun went down. As many people as make chemtrail videos, they never talk about this. At least not the ones that I've seen. They're talking about ice nucleation and how cold it is. This car that I'm driving here, this Kia, I used to drive a Subaru, but it was wrecked because when I took it in for inspection, the men there did not look after and take care of the particle filter, the dust particle filter, and so it got to the point where it was filled over 100%. And then the engine didn't want to work because of this particle filter that was full. And I even changed. I even went from one shop to the next because I thought that the new place would take care of my car. They didn't do it either until the car was totaled. So anyway, that was my Subaru. They told me they would fix it for 5,000 euros, but even then they didn't know if it would run very long, and on it went. So I saw myself more or less forced into buying a new car or getting a new used car. So I bought this Kia and I had the first inspection on it last October 2023. I believe it was Monday the 16th of October, minus 5 degrees. So, and you got people belly aching that it's so cold and it's 12 degrees. I can recall a time when it was minus 10 degrees during the day and at night. Sometimes it was even minus 18 here where I live. Not that often, but we had that. We also had in February minus 15 at night and during the day. Just because the sun went up didn't mean that we were getting hit with the glow ball. But you see, what the forces that should not be have done is they have demonstrated to you that as soon as the glow ball goes up, it gets warm, and it gets warm during the day, the whole day. And the longer the sun is up, the warmer it gets. In the summer, the temperature peaks at 4 o'clock PSYOP time. Pardon me. Yeah, 4 o'clock PSYOP time, which is 3 o'clock real time, and continues steadily at the same temperature all night long. Sometimes the temperature will only go down maybe 10 degrees if it's over 30. I've known nights here that we had 25 degrees overnight. And this is very similar to what we had in the desert. My mother, when we lived in Ohio, I was 15, my brother was 18. Or let's say I was 14 and he was 17, and my mother wanted in the worst way to move to Ohio, to move from Ohio to Arizona, so we sold our house in Ohio and moved out there. And they've been there ever since. They did have a short stint in Illinois where my stepfather's parents lived. That's where he was born and raised, and my parents went back there for a while, got that house, and then sold it and moved out to the desert for good. And they'll have temperatures of 30 overnight, so we were not too far away from desert temperatures, and we're not that far away from them now in desert-like conditions. The difference is, I remember when we moved to the desert, we first stayed in Prescott, Arizona in 1978 and 79, and we had a clear blue sky. None of this shite from hell. None of this background white and foreground blue and white and all this mix here. No. Straight up dark blue skies. It was warm and it was very dry. And now, of course, they spray the skies. You can't breathe because of oxygen depletion, and they'll tell you that it is humidity. How often have I heard, oh, it's so humid? No, it's oxygen depletion. People are getting things mixed up because they're being rewired and their minds are being reprogrammed to, first of all, to forget what they know is true, that the sun is yellow, for example, and the sky is blue and the clouds are white. And then also to misunderstand the function of the sun. The sun is a light. It is not a glow ball. It is not a blowtorch. Look at all this crap here being sprayed in. Sick. And yet people believe that. And how often have I heard, oh, it's so nice in the sun. It's not nice in the sun. It's electromagnetic. Imagine having in the sun, what is being sprayed in front of the sun. They just use the sun in order to prove to you, which is a lie, that it is an electromagnetic, what do they call it? Planet? I don't know. Well, if they call it a sun, evidently, but you know what I'm saying. They're telling you that it's electromagnetic. And it's only electromagnetic because what they spray in front of it. The whole sky is electromagnetic. The whole atmosphere is charged. And they want you to believe this. And imagine that it's up, the highest point in the sky is the sun. And the highest point on your body is your head. And that magnet that they're creating up there, and in all of the whole atmosphere, is drawing all of the heavy metals in your blood up to your brain. You know, I mean, I've never done this before, but I'd have to do a little research maybe on the occurrence of Alzheimer in Arizona as compared to other states, or which state has the highest incidence of Alzheimer. I wouldn't be surprised if it were one of these very hot states, Arizona, Nevada, maybe even Texas, where it just gets really hot. It gets really hot in parts of California also, but this is not heat from the sun, quite obviously. They cannot create cold. A friend of mine who used to be an engineer he died. He was an engineer for not air conditioning, but cooling, freezing, refrigeration. That's what it was called, refrigeration. And he told me, he asked me once, he said, what is the definition of cold? And I said, I don't know. And he said, it is the extraction of heat. And you see, in order to make cold, the forces that should not be would have to extract the heat, which they do not do because they actually inject the heat with all of their instrumentation, including Gwen, including HARP, Nexrad, all antennas, cell phone towers, electric lines. If you've ever been around electric towers and lines, you know that they attract bugs. Or do they actually engender them? I don't know for sure. But I had my horses out. I had to move my horses one time. Look at this. You can see the washboard pattern here. And anyway, they were in a place with lots of fields. Well, wherever you get lots of fields, you're going to have electric lines. Either they're going to have electric lines, they're going to have wind turbines like out here, or they're going to have nuclear, which they call coal plants. So, you see, they're always destroying nature one way or another. But when I went for a walk with the horse, there were so many different kind of bugs that I've never seen before. You've got huge hornets here, or what are those? Insects. And they said, we don't know what they are, but they were absolutely huge. And they were all buzzing around this around this electric tower installation. And, you know, they don't call Satan the Lord of the Flies for nothing. And Beelzebub. Look at this sky. It has just been massively sprayed today. So, you know, nothing is as it appears. Nothing is what they say it is. That's why you've got to be very careful when you listen to the radio, or television. They're just placating you. They're just saying, look, everything's fine. We've got it all under control. We're going to take care of you. Wait a minute. I don't need you to take care of me because I don't even know who you are. You don't know if these people are real or fake. And not only that, you don't even really know who they are. And what I mean by fake is CGI. You don't know anymore. And this is what Satan wants to do. He wants to merge reality with make-believe. And that's what he's doing with the sky. And everybody believes this is real. How often have I heard, oh, that's nice, ice nucleation, or it's, what do they call it? Condensation, it's water. Wait a minute, it's not water. How can it be water? It doesn't look like water. It doesn't feel like water. It's getting warmer when they spray. If it were water, certainly by now, it would have fallen down in the form of rain. Why does it always appear like it's stuck to the sky? And then as it falls down, they replenish. You know, I've been told more often than once that I'm very, very intense. But you have to be intense to get through to people, and even then you cannot penetrate these thick skulls. It doesn't take, as I say, a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out or to see it. It takes a willing mind, a mind that's supple and flexible, that can accept the truth. Yes, it's hard, but you know, your life is a drop in the bucket, a flash in the pan, and eternity is so much longer. Isn't it better to know the truth, which will really ultimately make you free, than it is to be in bondage to lies and to deceit and to the powers and the forces of darkness?